So right now, okay, so class, the lecture's begun. So we're going to talk about graphing standard form equations. Before I actually get into that, let's just remember what I taught the last time. There were 3 useful ways. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
3 useful ways to write equations. And the first one, 3 useful ways to write straight line equations. The first one was called the slope-intercept form. Right? And that is what form? Y equals mx plus b. Very famous formula. Okay? By far the easiest one to graph, by far. Well, maybe not by far, but it's definitely the easiest one. Number 2, I don't know what order I gave it to you in, but I'll say standard form.
Yeah, that was the second one.
Okay. And that one is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all numbers, like 2x plus 3y equals 6. So this is the one we're going to work on today. We're going to learn the we already learned the shortcut to graphing this. Now today we're going to learn the shortcut to graphing this. What was the third one again?
The point slope.
Point slope. Point slope form. And this is the one that is the scariest looking, and it's really, really quite simple once you understand it. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay? And so this, what are the things that I give you in the slope-intercept form? I give you a slope and a intercept. In particular, a y-intercept, right? So that's my slope, that's my y-intercept. With a point slope, what do you think I give you? In the equation. I give you a point in the equation and a slope in the equation. So there's a point hidden in this equation, and there's a slope hidden in this equation. Right? Standard form's a little different because I don't really give you anything except an equation. And then you've got and both x and y are standing on the left side. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, and how to solve those and how to graph them in particular. Okay? So can I erase this?
Yes.
I'm just reminding you these things. It's so important to remember the names of these equations, because if you know, oh, that's point slope form, you know immediately, oh, well, there's a point in that and a slope in that. I can graph it, no problem. Oh, that's slope-intercept form. Oh, well, then there's a slope in that and a y-intercept in that, right? As long as you know those names, at least for those two. The standard form doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but but that's okay. So we're going to talk about standard form today. This graph just looks funny. Let me just redo it. Yeah, see if I can do a little better job. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So before I actually show this process, I want to ask you a question. When it was in slope-intercept, y is equal to 1/2 x plus 2. What is the y-intercept? Luke. The y-intercept was 2. That's my y-intercept. Can somebody tell me how we know that that is the y-intercept? Logan.
Because the 1/2 has an x next to it.
Correct. So that is, so you already know that y equals mx plus b. M, the number in front of the x, is the slope. And that is your y-intercept, right? My question is, do you know why how can you prove that that's the y-intercept? Yeah.
Walk before fly, so like the x would be like the walk, and then the fly which comes after it would be the 2.
All right, so I'm curious. Let's just do a t-chart for a second. And we'll say we make x 0, right? What would y be?
2.
Oh, that's right, because 1/2 times 0 is nothing, so y equals 2. Oh! So that's interesting. X has to be 0 for it to be a y-intercept. Is that true? Let's just see. I'm curious. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what is this point right here?
One.
Yeah, as a coordinate point. as an ordered pair.
You guys are
Parentheses,
insane.
something, comma, something.
C 0, 1.
This is 0, comma 1. You guys agree?
Yes.
What would this one be?
4.
0, comma 4, right? What would this one be?
10.
I think it's 8. But 0, comma 8. I don't teach counting in algebra, so. All right, so what about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. So what would this be?
0, negative 5.
0, comma negative 5. So, that's interesting. What do all these points on the y-axis have in common, Rosemary?
They are all 0 compared to X.
Right, the x's are always 0. Very interesting. Now, I'm curious if that also works with the y-axis, right? So, let's just see. When, let's say, what is this point? What is the coordinate point for this point right here?
2, 0.
2, comma 0. That's interesting. What's this one?
8, comma 0.
2, comma 6.
Oh,
Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? What am I doing? What am I doing?
No, it's 6, comma 0.
6, comma 0. Sorry, I heard.
oh, I said that.
What is this? What's this point?
I don't know.
Negative 2, comma 0.
Negative 2, comma 0. What do they all have? What do they all have in common?
The y coordinate is 0.
The y coordinate is 0. That's very interesting. So if I were to try to find an x-intercept, meaning something on the x-axis, and I was given an equation, could I plug 0 in for y in an equation to find out where it would cross the x-axis? I probably could. Yes.
So does that mean the origin is 0, 0?
The origin is 0, 0. Yes,
Oh,
that's 0, 0. Good job. All right, so this is very intriguing. So let's say I gave you something in standard form. Let's say I give you this. 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Okay, so guys, pay attention, please. Just let that go. Let that be. Yeah, sit. All right, so I want to know, basically, I'm going to use a t-chart, but I'm not going to do it the normal way that I've taught. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make a t-chart. I want to know what is my x-intercept and what is my y-intercept. I know that for my x-intercept, this is really important, x-intercept means y equals 0. All right? That's really important. My y-intercept means that x equals 0. So all I care about is I'm trying to find the two places a line crosses the two axes. Does that make sense? So if it crossed here and it crossed here, then I could draw a line through them. Does that make sense? That's what I want to know. So you paying attention?
Yep.
All right. So I want to know when x is 0, what is y? And I want to know when y is 0, what is x? With me? So that's all I'm going to do. So this is the cool part though. When x is 0, look at this. Look at how easy this is. When x, what is 2 times 0?
0.
Oh, so I could actually go like this. Because 2 times 0, 0 is nothing, right? It no longer exists. So all I have is 3y equals 6. What is y? 2. I divide both sides by 3, right? Yes? You see that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm dividing both sides by 3 and I get y is equal to 2. So I know when x is 0, y is 2. Now, what about when y is 0? That means 3 times 0, that's nothing. I'm going to cover it up. I have 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2, x is 3, right?
Oh.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right, so now I have 2 coordinate points.
No, I'm right. Don't worry about it.
I have 2 coordinate points. I have 0, comma 2, right? I have 0, comma 2 and 3, comma 0. So I'm going to go plot those. So 0 means I don't go anywhere, but I go up 2, right? There's my first point. Second one is 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, dot, draw my line, put arrows on the end, and I'm done. Does that make sense? You see that? All right, so that was example number 1. Let's try a few more. I'll use a different, well, I don't think I have anything with a different color. So All right, so number 2. So let's say we have let's see here. 2x minus 3y equals 12. Okay? Okay? So guys, pay attention, please. All right, so what do? So Rico, help me. What's the first step?
You make the T-chart.
Make a T-chart. X, Y. Now what?
Put 0.
I put a 0 here. What do I put here?
0.
A 0. All right. So if x is 0, I can cover it up. I have negative 3y equals 12. So what's y?
4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4? Because you got to divide by that negative. So it's negative 4. And then when y is 0, I cover it up. I got 2x equals 12. 6, right? So now I get to graph it. And I'll try to use, I don't think I have anything in different color. So, all right, so this one, let me just erase all this. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of all these things here so that it doesn't look so complicated and confusing. Okay, so we have 0, negative 4. So 0, I don't go left to right at all. I go down negative 4, put a dot. And then I have 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I don't go anywhere up or down. And now I just draw my line to that, and I put an arrow at the end of my line, right? And I'm done. Fist of 5. You guys get this? Make sense? All right, let's try. Let's try one more just to be sure. Let's just do one more to be sure. 3.
No. Yeah. No.
All right. So I've got X, Y, T-chart. I want to know when X is 0, and I want to know when Y is 0, what it is. So somebody new, somebody different. So Dan. Okay, when X is 0, boom. What is Y? Divide both sides by negative 10. Both sides. Meaning, see, right, like you're going to divide this by negative 10 and this by negative 10. Right? So that becomes 1y, which is what I want to know, equals, what is positive divided by negative?
Negative.
Negative, right? And then 20 divided by 10? 2. So it's going to be negative 2. All right. Now when y is 0, right? When y is 0, I cover it up, and I have negative 4x equals 20. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. By negative 4.
Negative 5.
And that gives me negative 5. So now I'm going to plot that. Okay, negative 5, 0. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. And 0, negative 2, right there. So here's my line.
Okay.
Double line.
Right? Pretty straightforward.
This
Pretty
is
easy.
making more sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do one more?
No.
How many people? Fist of 5. I just want to see how many people understand it.
Like a 3.5. Very like.
All right. So I want to do another.
You're gonna have my thumb.
4.5 my thumbs.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. So real quickly, in order to find an X-intercept, what do I have to do?
So you have to take away the y part and then just look at the
Well,
x.
I'm making X equal to
Equal to-
0.
Yeah.
In order to find an X-intercept, Y has to be 0. In order to find a Y-intercept, X has to be 0. That works not with this, just this. It works with all equations, right? So it's a really powerful concept to understand. Really, really powerful. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Is this number 4?
It's number 4.
All right. Okay, how about 3x minus 9y equals 18. So I notice it is x and y standing on the left side of the equal sign. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Therefore, it is in standard form. The quickest shortcut way of graphing this is to find my x-intercept and my y-intercept. So I do this, and my x-intercept is when y is 0, my y-intercept is when x is 0. Right? That's all I'm doing. So when x is 0, what is y?
Negative 2.
-2. I'm dividing both sides by -9, right? Positive divided by negative is negative. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Okay. Now, when y is 0, -9 times 0 is just 0, right? So Logan, help me. What is x?
Negative
6.
6.
Positive 6, right?
I mean, yeah, positive
Yeah,
6.
positive 6. So 0, -2, right there. And then 6, 0. And now I draw my line. And I put arrows on the end. And I've done it. Fist of 5. Fist of 5. Is it starting to make more sense?
5.
This is a
4
5.
more of
It's a
my
5 now.
3/4 of my thumb.
Okay.
4
Okay.
3/4 of my thumb.
I think I'm gonna go with it.
Okay, it has to clean it.
So I think I'm gonna stop there and have you guys